Hello, good evening, and day 4 comes to an end behind me. There is a huge number of people who are coming down as the tattoo has just come out. I have just come out of Riddle's Court, Greenside venue, and seen my last show of the day, which is show number 11. I started at 9 o'clock this morning because there was something on at 9, and I was here and I thought, using my space pass, I would get in and see if anybody was going to review it, and I really enjoyed it, really liked it, and it set the day up well. I went off to Summer Hall, saw something that I thought was fantastic, which just continued the day. It's been a kind of mixed day from that point onwards, particularly since I have lost my notebook, which had the first 3 shows in it, all the notes from this year and all the notes from last year as well, which is really annoying, but it's a notebook, nobody died. So as I'm wandering off down to try and get to Waverley Station in order to pick up the train to take myself home to go to Lenzie, next to where I live in Kirkcudbright. I hope you can hear me because it's quite windy, but here is the thoughts for today. In terms of, and I have been giving people a bit of a hard time in terms of front of house, I'm still finding some of the difficulties are that when a show comes to an end, you're not ushered out and you're left to your own devices. Now, I know many of these venues because I've been coming to the Fringe, I think, since 2008, so it's 14 years less one when it was cancelled. So I've been round and about and I know where things are, but even I are struggling to find the exits at times, even though that's the way we came in. You know, there are black curtains that are hanging that don't allow you to get out, so we need a person now and again. Also, media, I've been giving people a bit of a hard time over that as well, and let me give somebody else a bit of a hard time. The website has sent me to 4 shows this very day and before which weren't performing on the day in which it said on the website they were, which has meant that I couldn't book in. And I had already requested press tickets, so I'm going to have to come back and see them because them's the rules. In fact, there was one that I had checked on the website for today that I rushed to go and get to, or I would have, but that's when I lost my notebook, which is all of last year's notes, most of this year's notes, the first 3 things for today, first 3 shows, and I would have done, but I had wandered back, retraced my steps to see if I could find it, which I couldn't. But that show finished on the 13th, but according to the website that I had looked at and checked, I could have gone there today. So there are glitches that are happening there, but there's also glitches in certain media departments. Just the Tonic, 48 hours before going to see the show, I emailed up not once, not twice, but 3 times and got no response. So I turned up at the shop. My apologies to the guy who was just telling me where the press office was because I was a bit snappy. And I was a bit snappy because when you're a performer, you've paid an absolute fortune to come here. What you expect when you pay out that to a venue is that they're going to do their utmost and their best to promote you. And indeed, reviewing is part of that promotion. Getting somebody in to see a show, I know is difficult because I get emails on a daily basis long before the Fringe starts and still when the Fringe is on, asking if it would be good enough to come and see a particular show or a series of shows that they have available. So get your act together. Also, Pleasance, the number 10 Pleasance Stone, you've got fluorescent tape on the floor to show people where to go for it, no signs. So unless you're getting in and saying excuse me where it is, as I did, like an adult, I get it, nobody knows where to go. And I get that there's every possibility that it might have been an error, a mistake, or just back in and all the rest of it. But again, taking a little bit more care would make a massive difference. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be at the assembly tonight to join with my Fringe Review colleagues because that's me running off to get a train, which is a great pity because they're a fantastic bunch of people and I'm very privileged to be part of them. So sorry, Paul, where I'm going to be is at the train station getting a train. But Jerry Sadowitz. Now, there are a couple of things which have happened. Now, today I've had one of those days where it's not been quite wall-to-wall sex, but I've seen a transgender LGBT show today which really pushed the boundaries and started off being quite explicit. It did end up with a couple of topless performers. I don't know whether they identify as male or female, but breasts were exposed. I wasn't aware of that before I went in. It's not something I found particularly offensive. I knew that there were going to be certain aspects of that on show. Now, Jerry Sadowitz, you don't book a Jerry Sadowitz show because you want to take your kids. So the fact that the Pleasants have cancelled him, it seems a bit odd in a sense. He has admitted that he did expose himself, so therefore he got his tackle out at some point. Don't think there was any warning. There's no warning for me today. But there is something different between male genitalia and female breasts, I suppose, in a sense. And we have to thank the patriarchy for that, because we did accept The Sun on page 3 and various other publications that would have such similar things. But, you know, having somebody wandering like the Naked Rambler up and down the UK with his winkaloot isn't necessarily going to be as acceptable. So we have a bit of double standards going there as well. If he did use some sort of misogynistic, racialist, whatever it may be, epithet, then it's not very nice, not very good. And one of the things that was interesting today was the LGBT one show that I saw was in the Pleasance Dome, and there was a warning given to us at the beginning about the nature of the performance and what we might hear and understand. Is that new because of what happened to Jerry Sadowitz? I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm an adult, I'm a big person. What would be interesting to know, because I never went to see the Jerry Sadowitz show, so I'm not in a place that I can make any kind of comment with absolute authority, is that if people did walk out, if people were offended, where are they? Why do we not have social media filled with people saying, I was at the show and this is what happened and that's what didn't happen? And until we get that, I don't know if we have enough information upon which to make some kind of judgment. But it goes back to a simple thing for me. One, he has admitted that he did expose himself in some way. That's something that is perhaps regrettable. It is certainly possibly actionable in terms of anybody exposing himself. Secondly, if he did use some form of slur, then that also is something that could be actionable. In the context of a theatre, does it make a difference? Depends, I think, on the context. And that is key for everything. So here I am, Edinburgh Waverley. Day 4 is at an end. Reviews to come. Speak soon. Bye for now.